Our Weed of the Week is always fun because there's somebody from some area of the country that's never heard of it. And they always will reply, "Are you serious? Is that even a weed? I think you guys are just making this thing up," because a weed like this week's Weed of the Week, yellow Toadflax, I get it, it's got a little bit of a funny name to it, but this is a real weed and it can really be a problem because it can outcompete a lot of the other weeds and a lot of the other desirable plants, I should say, around it for water.
Well, the whole reason why is this is a perennial plant. Now, granted, it's probably not going to live for 20 years or anything, but it is a perennial plant. So whenever you have a perennial plant, very often when you're out there, you might see it in year 2 or year 3, and it's got an enormous root system. So you think about a lot of the things that people are going to spray out in pasture ground, for example, to try to control normal weeds, something like 2,4-D. And knowing most farmers, guys are going to try to get by with spending as little money as possible. I mean, let's be honest, right? We do on our farm too. So you go out there with a, moderate rate of 2,4-D, well, all that's going to do is burn the top growth down, and then in about another month, you're going to see a bunch of new shoots coming from yellow toadflax.
Well, probably the best control method for yellow toadflax is just good crop canopy. If you fertilize the pasture well and identify what that pasture needs, not just nitrogen and sulfur, it needs other nutrients too, just like your crop ground. Maybe you're short of phosphorus. Maybe you're short of potassium out there in your pasture ground. Even if it's native pasture and you say, well, it's native pasture, I've never baled hay off it, all we've ever done is graze it. It could be naturally short in some of these nutrients. You don't know unless you're doing some testing. I would suggest testing. Fertilize that pasture and then don't overgraze. Use rotational grazing so different parts of your pasture, you can keep them growing and regrowing quickly. You can keep weeds like yellow toadflax out.
Okay, so I'm using something like Grazon, for example. It's got 2,4-D and Tordon. If you say, hey, I don't want the Tordon, I don't want something with long residual, then I'd probably run with Distinct at the full rate.
Well, I like Chaparral, Brian, but either way, you can control it with a long-lasting product. You can use something shorter lasting, even like Freelex, where you don't have the off-target volatility issues that you may have with some other products.
All right, real quick, in corn, I want something with sharpened down. I'm going to follow a status post-emerge.
Or Roundup, Brian. You can use Roundup on yellow toadflax too. And
absolutely.
In soybeans, I really like Extend soybeans. You can use dicamba products that are labeled for Extend,
Roundup.
Or you can use Roundup again.
Yep, and pre-emerge, we like our 3-pre program. It's not the best in yellow toadflax, but any tillage you do is going to help with this particular weed. And in wheat, I'm going to start with Sharpen, follow with Husky.
That's all the time we have for this week's Weed of the Week, but Iron Talk is coming up next.